Have you ever dreamed of launching your own rocket? What if I told you that you could do it right in your living room? With a simple balloon and a few household items, you can create your own balloon rocket. Imagine the excitement of watching your balloon rocket zoom across the room. Plus, it's a great activity to do with friends or family. You can even turn it into a friendly competition to see whose balloon rocket flies the furthest or the fastest. So, are you ready to get started? Gather your materials and let's embark on this exciting journey of discovery and fun. Get ready to blast off. Before we start building our balloon rocket, let's gather all the materials we will need. Here's what you'll need. A long piece of string or fishing line about 10 to 15 feet. A balloon any shape or size will do, but round balloons work best. A drinking straw. Tape. Any kind will work, but clear tape is preferred. Scissors. And 2 chairs or other objects to tie the string to. If you don't have fishing line, any thin, smooth string will work. The straw is crucial as it will act as the guide for your balloon rocket. Make sure to have plenty of tape on hand too, as it will secure everything together. Gather all these items and lay them out on a table. With your materials ready, you're all set to start building your balloon rocket. Now that we have all our materials ready, it's time to set up our launch pad. This is an exciting step, as it brings us closer to launching our very own balloon rocket. Follow these steps to get everything ready, carefully and methodically, ensuring each step is completed correctly. First, find a suitable area in your home. This space will be the launch site for your rocket, so choose wisely. You'll need a space that's at least 10 to 15 feet long and free of obstacles. This ensures that your rocket has enough room to travel without hitting anything. Once you've found your space, place 2 chairs at either end of the area. These chairs will act as the anchors for your launch pad. Next, take your string or fishing line and tie one end to the back of one chair. Make sure to tie it tightly. Make sure the knot is secure so the string doesn't come loose. A loose knot could cause your rocket to fail. Then, stretch the string across to the other chair and tie it tightly. This will create the track for your rocket. The string should be taut, not sagging. A sagging string will affect the rocket's flight path. Once the string is in place, cut a small piece of tape and attach it to the middle of the string. This tape will hold the straw in place. This will be where the straw and balloon rocket will be attached. Make sure the tape is secure. Finally, test the string by sliding the straw along it. The straw should move smoothly without any obstructions. Your launch pad is now ready. Get ready to launch your balloon rocket and see it soar across the room. With our launch pad ready, it's time to assemble the balloon rocket. Just follow these steps. First, take your straw and cut it to about 4 to 5 inches in length. This straw will act as the guide for your rocket. Next, slide the straw onto the string. Make sure it moves freely along the length of the string. Now it's time to prepare the balloon. Blow up the balloon but don't tie it. Hold the end tightly so the air doesn't escape. The balloon is your rocket's engine, and the air inside is its fuel. Next, attach the balloon to the straw. Use a piece of tape to secure the balloon to the straw. Your balloon rocket is now assembled and ready for launch. Now comes the most exciting part, launching your balloon rocket. Follow these steps to ensure a successful launch. First, make sure your balloon is securely taped to the straw and that the straw moves freely along the string. Hold the end of the balloon tightly to prevent air from escaping. Position the balloon rocket at one end of the string, ready for takeoff. When you're ready, count down from 3. Once you reach 0, let go of the balloon and watch it zoom along the string. The balloon rocket will travel quickly, propelled by the air escaping the balloon. As the balloon rocket travels, observe how it moves. Does it go straight? Does it wobble? This is a great opportunity to make adjustments and try again. Experiment with different angles and positions to see how they affect the rocket's flight. Have fun and enjoy the thrill of launching your own rocket. To fully appreciate the balloon rocket experiment, it's important to understand the science behind it. This experiment beautifully demonstrates Newton's third law of motion. Newton's third law states that for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. This means that any force exerted in one direction will result in an equal force in the opposite direction. In the case of the balloon rocket, the action is the air rushing out of the balloon. When you release the end of the balloon, the air inside pushes out with force. According to Newton's third law, this action creates an equal and opposite reaction. The balloon rocket moves forward. This principle is not only fascinating, but also powerful. It explains everything from how we walk to how rockets are launched into space. By understanding Newton's third law, you gain a deeper appreciation for the forces at work in our world. Now that we understand Newton's third law, let's apply it to our balloon rocket experiment. This will help us see the law in action and understand its practical implications. When you release the balloon, the air inside rushes out quickly, creating a noticeable force. This is known as the action force, which is the force exerted by the air as it escapes the balloon. The escaping air pushes against the surrounding air, creating a force in the opposite direction, which we call the reaction force. This reaction force propels the balloon rocket forward along the string, demonstrating Newton's third law in a simple yet effective way. The straw and string act as a guide, ensuring the rocket moves in a straight line, which helps us observe the motion more clearly. Without this guide, the balloon would fly erratically, as the escaping air would push it in unpredictable directions, making it hard to study the forces at play. The string helps us control and observe the rocket's motion, providing a clear path for the balloon to follow. This experiment is a perfect demonstration of Newton's third law because it shows how forces work in pairs, with every action having an equal and opposite reaction. The air pushing out of the balloon and the rocket moving forward are directly linked, illustrating the fundamental principle of action and reaction. It's a clear, hands-on way to see physics in action, making abstract concepts more tangible and easier to understand. Understanding this principle helps us see how everyday actions, from walking to driving, are governed by the same laws of physics, making the world around us more comprehensible. One of the best things about the balloon rocket experiment is its flexibility. You can try different variations to see how they affect the rocket's flight. Let's start with using different types of balloons. First, try using a round balloon. This is the most common type and works well for a basic rocket. Note how far and fast it travels. Then, switch to a long, thin balloon. These balloons can sometimes travel faster due to their shape and how the air escapes. Next, experiment with different sizes of balloons. Use a small balloon and then a large one. Notice how the size of the balloon affects the flight. Larger balloons hold more air, which can result in a more powerful launch. But they also have more weight to carry. Inflate one balloon fully and another only halfway. Observe how the amount of air affects the distance and speed. Another way to vary the balloon rocket experiment is by using different types of strings. This can affect how smoothly the rocket travels. First, try using a thin, smooth string like fishing line. This type of string offers minimal resistance, allowing the balloon rocket to move quickly and smoothly. Observe how the rocket travels along this type of string. Next, switch to a thicker string, like yarn or twine. These types of strings have more friction, which can slow down the rocket. Notice how the increased resistance affects the rocket's speed and distance. You can also experiment with different lengths of string. Use a shorter string and then a longer one. Measure how far the rocket travels on each. By experimenting with different strings, you gain a deeper understanding of how friction and resistance impact motion. To make the balloon rocket experiment even more exciting, try adding payloads. This simple addition can turn a basic experiment into a fascinating exploration of physics and aerodynamics. This means attaching small objects to the balloon to see how they affect the flight. By varying the payloads, you can observe different outcomes and learn more about the principles of motion. Start with a small, lightweight object like a paperclip. It's a great way to begin understanding the basics without drastically altering the rocket's performance. Tape the paperclip to the balloon and launch the rocket. Watch closely to see how even a tiny weight can influence the flight path. Observe how the added weight affects the distance and speed. You might notice subtle changes in how the balloon moves through the air. Lighter objects won't have a huge impact, but you'll still notice some changes. These small differences can teach you a lot about the forces at play. Next, try adding a heavier object, like a small toy or a coin. This will help you see more pronounced effects on the rocket's flight. Secure it to the balloon with tape and launch again. Pay attention to how the increased weight changes the rocket's behavior. Notice how the rocket's flight changes with the added weight. Heavier objects will make the differences more noticeable. Heavier payloads will slow down the rocket and may cause it to travel a shorter distance. This is a great way to see the impact of mass on motion. You can also experiment with the position of the payload. Changing where you place the weight can lead to interesting results. Attach it to different parts of the balloon, the front, middle, or back. Each position will affect the rocket's balance and flight differently. See how the placement affects the balance and motion. This can help you understand the importance of weight distribution. This helps you understand how weight distribution impacts stability. It's a key concept in both aerodynamics and everyday physics. Have fun testing different combinations and learning from each launch. Each experiment brings new insights and a deeper appreciation for the science behind flight. Congratulations! You've successfully built and launched your own balloon rocket. Not only did you have fun, but you also learned about the fascinating science of motion. This experiment is a great way to see Newton's third law in action and understand how forces work. Now it's your turn to share your balloon rocket adventures. Try different variations and see what happens. Experiment with different balloons, strings, and payloads. Each launch offers a new opportunity to learn and discover. Take photos or videos of your launches and share them with friends and family. Encourage them to try the experiment too. Most importantly, have fun and enjoy the process. Happy launching, and may your balloon rockets soar high and far.